All of us have projects around the house periodically that we want to get done. This program, Fix It Man, looks at various kinds of projects, some small, some big, that all of us have around the house. I'm Cliff Brock. Let's see what kinds of projects we can work on today. When we left you at the end of part 1, we had just finished the outside and most of the rough framing on the inside. Today's video will take a look at the finish work and get you to the end of the project with some helpful suggestions at the end of the tape. Please join us as we look at the rest of our Den Magic build in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Georgia. Well, the project continues to proceed apace. Today we did some sheetrocking. We've got about half of the sheetrock up, a little more, 11 sheets today. And I'll go and pick up some more sheetrock. I think I'll need about 4 more sheets to finish out the sheetrock portion. This is the enclosure for where the home entertainment center goes. It's 122 inches, about 22 inches deep. It is a little more project than I really probably should have undertaken, but it's coming along nicely. I'm going to have to, tomorrow, you see this soffit that's up above here. That's got to be sheetrocked, but I've got to put some upper nailer boards on it. Well, the project is proceeding apace. As you can see here, we've just about gotten it sheetrocked. The media center enclosure is coming along nicely. Still have a lot of tools. I've not finished my garage yet, so I've got a place to put the tools out of what used to be my workshop. But we're just a couple of pieces short putting in the sheetrock. We'll get that this afternoon. I've got to go back through and fill in the screws that I haven't screwed enough. That door will come out and become a doorway, and that will give us access from the rest of the house into our new den. The sheetrock is in. We've done some of the mudding. You can see that it's starting to take shape. We've got the corners on, so we're ready to do the skim coat. Before we do the rest of the sheetrocking, though, we are going to have to do a little bit of electrical work. That switch that you can see right there is part of a system to put together can lights in the soffit that covers up the drywall of the furnace vent. So I went out on the internet and found a diagram for how to do a 3-way switch. I've done 1 or 2, but I'm not very slick on them. We did manage to get it done. Got 2 of the lights in that you can see here. We put them in as we put the tongue and groove in to be sure that everything is going to work right. And they were working well. The switch actually worked. It didn't work when I got it in. I had to reverse the black and red at the first stage, and then it worked just fine. Switch plates will be going on soon. This little area I'm going to leave. This is the entry from the house into the new room. This needs obviously sheetrock, and this little workshop area will be closed off, and this will be the entry into the new den. The pine for the ceiling is on order, should be here today, maybe tomorrow. When we finish that, then we'll go to work on putting the chink in. Pine's getting a coat of varathane. The short pieces here will make the soffit. Mid decided to go with a polyurethane, a satin finish to match the rest of the house. We didn't want to put a color on it. The rest of the house is a little bit darker, but what we've discovered is that the wood darkens over time and really pretty rapidly. So I think in a year or 2 we'll probably have wood that matches throughout the house because it's the same building material all the way through. That will help. The first board is up. And if I calculated correctly, 39 rows to go. Today was a slow day. We got started on putting the knotty pine on the ceiling, and on the soffit. We got the HVAC guy out today, and he raised this cold air return plenum up an inch because it was down and we could not get the tongue and groove. So he had to move that up 1 inch. Well, tomorrow we will have been at it for 5 weeks. It doesn't look like we've accomplished much. We have, I think, 10 rows to go there and 13 in the soffit. I've got 2 of the can lights installed. Well, it just about drove us to drink. In fact, what I don't normally do, I'm doing. But we have a pine ceiling. It is in completely. Well, the ceiling is in. I've got about 2 courses over here in this little niche for the television to do, but I left those because I had a little more work to do on them. Ceiling fan is ready to be installed. We have not lost our color sense. Paint has gotten so expensive that rather than go out and buy primer, we took all the spare paint that we had in the workshop and we mixed it together and came up with this ghastly color. Looks like cement or something, but it worked very nicely. It gave us a primer coat for no cost because it was just sitting in the shop getting ready to go bad. Well, the end is in sight. The paint is done except for a few patch places. And today we started putting in, this is a product called Chink. It's really a siding, but in cabins here in the Blue Ridge Mountains, they use this as a rustic cabin finish. Around the room. So all that's left is the top cap and some flooring. We are at a point where it's time to think about flooring now. I've opened up to the rest of the house. We are all pined all the way through on the ceiling. This doorway is not finished. They couldn't get the door here in time, so I'll do it when we come up next. But all the stuff is in. We have our folding doors, thanks to my son who took it out of his house and I salvaged it and redesigned it, re-engineered it. We are going to spend this afternoon cleaning and prepping to get ready for the installation of the flooring. And that's the flooring that will be going in. And we are really coming to the end of this project. About the only thing I have left to do in here is I've got to run some electrical. The television and the home entertainment center sit in that hole. This room is about as done as it's going to get, except for the flooring going down, being cleaned, and the furniture. It's taken us about 6 weeks. Toward the end, we almost ran out of steam, so we hired a fellow to come in and put the flooring down. He did so in about 5 or 6 hours, and it worked very well. Remodel done, we were ready for a tour of our work. A little light on here. And this is the entry into the piece that we completely remodeled. My son had a couple of louvered doors, so I used those for the furnace area. And then this will become a hobby room somebody wanted to do. The family room, den, whatever you want to call it, is now completely finished. She doesn't have the things on the ceiling yet, on the walls yet, but it's getting there. She got her furniture in, and the room is starting to look like a place where you can go and sit and enjoy a television show if you wanted to, and relax at our little hideaway in the mountains. And as you can see, the fire stick pretty well covers us for whatever television we might want to look at. Thank you for joining us today on Fix It Man. Look for our next episode, and as always, be sure to click like and subscribe. I'm Cliff Brock. Until next time.